important if you're a real estate agent and you're helping people buy a condo or you're helping people rent a condo, that you must make your buyers or your tenants aware of the rules and regulations that the condo association has for the building. Super, super important. If you are a real estate agent and you are helping people buy a condo, you have the right to ask the condo association for a copy of the rules and the regulations and the bylaws. And these will go through all the buildings. You know, the buildings have lots and lots of rules and regulations. Ray just cited one. Some buildings have a no pet policy. You know, some buildings have no barbecuing out on your balcony. There's a million different rules. You have to use neutral backed draperies, on and on and on and on. And if you don't comply with those rules, you can get fined, you can get kicked out, all kinds of things can happen, right? So super important that your buyers know those rules in advance and that your tenants know those rules in advance and they can live with those rules. Because if they can't live with those rules, they shouldn't be buying or renting in that condo building. Because different condos, different associations will have different rules. So in answer to your question, yes, Ray, it's your obligation as a real estate broker to get those rules, and they'll be different in every condo association. Get the rules and regulations, get the bylaws, and present them to your buyer or your tenant so they know in advance what to expect. Okay, so brokers should be making their clients aware of what they're getting themselves into, right? Okay, let's talk about different kinds of leases. You know what we'll do is I'm going to share my application with you. And you all know that in Blackboard we have PowerPoint presentations for these chapters. So sometimes I share them with you and sometimes I don't. But let's go down here and look at chapter 17, PowerPoint presentation on landlord-tenant law. Okay, so you can see this. It goes through, I hope you can see this. It goes through this presentation I've been making to you today. Who's the lessor? Who's the lessee? What are the rights conveyed? Who's the landlord? How to create a landlord-tenant relationship. Oh, this is something I didn't talk to you about, the statute of frauds. If the lease is for a period longer than 12 months, then the statute of frauds requires it to be in writing. So in other words, if it's a lease that's for exactly 1 year, it does not have to be in writing and signed under the statute of frauds. If it's for exactly 1 year. So it started on January 1st of 2021. It ends on December 31st of 2021. It could just be oral and enforceable in court. But once you get 1 day past that, let's say it started on January 1st of 2021 and it doesn't end until January 1st of 2022, now it has to be in writing and signed under the statute of frauds. Because the rule is if the lease can't be fully performed or the contract can't be fully performed within 12 months from the date it's signed, then it has to be in writing and signed. Okay? So a 2-year lease would have to be in writing and signed. A 5-year lease would have to be in writing and signed. Even in this example at the bottom here, if we had a 6-month lease and somebody signed it today, the landlord and tenant signed it today for a seasonal business, but the tenant, just to secure the space, but the tenant didn't take possession for 7 months. Does that lease have to be in writing under the statute of frauds? And the answer is yes, because it can't be performed within a year. 7 months plus 6 months is 13 months. So you'd still have to put that kind of a lease in writing and have it signed. Remember, that's what the statute of frauds says. The statute of frauds says what kinds of contracts must be in writing and signed.